Hey everyone, in this video we are going to be going over exactly how to end your interview the right way. Some good questions to ask. Most interviews towards the end they'll ask you at some point, do you have any questions for us? That trips a lot of people up. They're not sure exactly what to say, what's okay to say, what's not okay to say. So in this video I'm going to give you 3 examples of questions that I've used in every one of my interviews, as well as a short, concise, simple closing statement that you can use so that you can end the interview on a high note and get out the door. So if you find this content helpful, if you find this useful, if you like what you've seen on this channel, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel, helps me, so that I can keep making this content for all of you. So getting right into it, why is this important? Now, not every single department and every single interview you're going to go into are they going to ask you if you have questions for them. Most will, but if they don't ask you for questions, don't start bringing them up. So that's the first thing. Only bring up questions if they ask you, what are your questions for us? What are your thoughts about the department? Anything like that, that's fair game to bring up these questions. Things you don't want to talk about. Questions that you don't want to ask are ones related to money, one's related to time off, one's related to personnel in the sense of something that should be obvious, meaning how many people are on the department, things like that. That's kind of stuff that you should already know. And in another video, I had already talked about other things that you should know going into the interview. But what you do want to ask is questions that show that you're engaged, that you're looking forward to the opportunity of potentially working there, and that you want to improve yourself as a firefighter, improve yourself as a candidate so that you can, by and large, improve the department. So those are the types of questions you want to ask. So I'm going to give you 3 different questions and tell you why they're good. So the first one is, does your department have a new firefighter training program? And if so, could you give me an overview of what that consists of? So for example, before I started working for the department I work for now, I had gotten hired at another department. And when I was there, they did a program where they partnered you with a senior guy. And the guy that I was partnered with was awesome. He was great. And he kind of takes you under his wing for the first year of probation. And every new person had their buddy. I don't know what you would technically call that. And that's who they would learn from. And that was part of the learning process and the onboarding process and the probation process for them. And it also gave the brass, the administration, the chiefs and the assistant chiefs, an idea to find out from the senior guy, like, hey, what's this guy really like? You've gotten to know him not just in a professional sense, but in a personal sense. And then they have a whole book of things that they go through and sign off and check off to make sure that you're competent and you know what you're doing. So that's one form of a training program. Where I work now, when I first got hired, there's an entire book, they call them JPRs, of essentially your officer and you're kind of trained by your crew. Like everybody kind of takes responsibility for you. And over the course of your first year, you have to get signed off by your officer on all your JPRs. And at the end of the year, you have to have this completed book. Two totally different ways to approach training a new guy. Both work great, both have pluses, both have minuses. So every department is going to be different. So ask about that. That's a good question because it shows that you're interested in how that department operates. And it's not a presumptive close. You'll hear that in sales all the time. People talk about the presumptive close, but it's almost like you're, and I say this carefully, it's almost like you're assuming, yeah, I did so well, you should hire me. And I know that's going to sound bad to some people because that's not, you don't want to come off as arrogant, but you want to come off as confident in the fact that, yeah, I'm a good candidate. And when you hire me, what's the training program? What's the onboarding going to be like? So that's the first question. Again, it's, does your department have a new firefighter training program? If so, could you give me an overview of what it consists of? Simple and to the point. Second one is, does your department do any events or outreach with other departments or the general community? And then examples of this would be things like a Citizens Fire Academy, CPR classes. So where I work now, we actually do both of those things. We do CPR classes. With everything going on right now, I think they stopped that. There's no visitors in the station. And we also, I think last year, they just started a Citizens Fire Academy where people could sign up, and we just kind of run them through like obviously a very toned down, basic fire academy. They get to know the trucks, they get to know what we do, what going through a fire is like. It's actually a pretty cool program, and people loved it. And you know, when we had them going before they stopped having excuse me, stopped having visitors in the station, um, people liked it a lot. The sign-up sheets were always full. So find out if they do something like that. That's good because it shows that you want to be engaged with the community, right? A lot of people talk about, well, I want to be a firefighter because I want to give back to my community. Well, ask about what sort of outreach programs that they do. Again, simple question, straight to the point, but it's also not going to be something that you shouldn't ask, and it shows that you're engaged with that department. Third and final question, does your department encourage further education for firefighters? So this could include things not just like college courses, but specialty courses such as dive school, hazmat, rope rescue, engine operations, ladder operations. Where I work, what we do a lot of times is when guys first get hired, there's 2 or 3 classes that we like to send people to. Not every department's like that. Not every department may or may not have the budget to do that. It just depends on the department. But again, this is a question that shows that you are interested in taking on more responsibility within the department. Obviously, probably not right off the bat. Your first year is going to be spent just learning your district, knowing your maps, knowing your streets. But down the road, you're interested in getting involved in those kinds of things. So that's a good question to ask is, do you encourage this? And if you do, what kind of classes do guys usually go to? What kind of classes do you want them to take? What kind of classes do you need guys to take? Excellent question to ask. So you've asked your questions, the interview's over, now what? I've had a couple people ask me, do you need a closing statement? And the answer is not really. You don't need a closing statement in the sense of you need this big, long, dramatic answer of this is why I'm the best candidate and I think you should hire me and blah, blah, blah. You've spent the last 20 or 30 minutes doing that in the interview. You should have already relayed to them why you are the best candidate and why they should hire you. So once the questions are done and everything's complete, I always used to use just a simple statement. I'll give it to you right now. And it was, thank you all for your time. I'm grateful for having the opportunity to interview with all of you today. I look forward to hearing from you. And that's it. Simple, straightforward, to the point. Say that, shake hands with everybody. As you're saying that, look people again directly in the eyes. If you have the opportunity to address somebody specifically, call them chief, lieutenant, captain, whatever their officer name is. If you're not sure, stick with sir or ma'am. And that's it. Simple, straightforward, to the point. Now, with everything going on right now, a couple people have asked me, should you still offer to shake hands? The answer is, in my opinion, yes, you should offer to shake someone's hand. Now, obviously, if you're in a situation where there's plexiglass boards up and they clearly are not interested in shaking your hand or having any sort of contact with you, don't do it. But if it's not like that, stand up and offer to shake hands. And it's awkward right now, right? We're in a weird time. So if people seem like they're a little standoffish, just say, is it okay to shake hands? And if not, and they say no, no problem. Don't take any offense to it. Just turn around and walk out the door. So I hope you found this helpful. Like I said before, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.